What are the insider tips that you give to other lawyers who want to start representing people at the naturalization interview? Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States. Had a very interesting morning today. I got to go down to Legal Services of Eastern Missouri. I was asked to come down and present to a group of lawyers who've decided to volunteer and help represent low-income and poor people who are applying for citizenship. And they asked me to give a little presentation. I spoke for about an hour. And they asked me not to videotape it or to broadcast it over Facebook Live due to some regulatory guidelines that they have to follow. And obviously I was happy to abide by that. But I thought, why miss out on the information that I provided, and why not share it with you, my viewers? So when lawyers decide that they want to start doing things on a pro bono basis, they still owe all the same ethical duties to their clients, duty of good representation, of competency. And so these lawyers came down to Legal Services for free CLE, which is continuing legal education. So lawyers have to take classes every year, and this class was free for them, and they learned all the ins and outs of immigration. So I gave them a real basic understanding of how the immigration process works, the hierarchy of how you can go from being on a non-immigrant visa to an immigrant visa with a green card and then to citizenship, and sort of all the different pitfalls and problems that arise. We also talked about basically the 4 different ways of getting a green card, either through a spouse or an employer, or through the diversity visa, or through asylum. So I think our audience was very interested in it, and I think we really opened a lot of eyes to people. We talked about how we view immigration as sort of more a blood sport and not just a nice, touchy-feely time for everyone to get along, but rather where we are advocating forcefully for our clients, just like we would in court. Immigration is not a silly or trivial matter. It's very serious, it's very important, and we're talking about people's lives. So we wanted to make sure that these attorneys who are volunteering to get involved with citizenship really understand the importance of what it is that they're doing. We talked about how we always encourage our clients to move up the immigration ladder, to take an immigration benefit as soon as they can. But when it came to the naturalization interview itself and the N-400, we really wanted to emphasize a couple of things. Number one, citizenship and the interview is really the last chance the Immigration Service has to decide whether or not someone gets to stay in the country or not. Once they're naturalized, it's very difficult to denaturalize them, to take away their citizenship, and it's almost impossible to deport them unless they have first stripped someone of their citizenship. This is a huge undertaking, involves filing suit in federal court. So this is really the Immigration Service's last opportunity to weigh in on whether someone deserves to stay in the United States. We also talked about how while the N-400 can appear deceptively simple, it looks like a straightforward form. We wanted to make sure that these attorneys understood that each of the questions is related to a specific area of the law, a regulation, or provision in statute that would prevent someone from being able to get their citizenship. For instance, there's a statutory requirement that a naturalization candidate show that they've been a person of good moral character for 5 years. So there are a series of questions that are devoted to that question. There's also questions about terrorism, and there's a lot of questions that may seem silly. But we made sure that the attorneys understood that they have to go through each of the questions carefully with their clients. We also emphasize how a lot of clients really want to get the thing filed as quickly as possible, but we encourage these newer attorneys to the immigration realm that they really need to take their time and make sure they have a good conversation with their client. You know, naturalization is important. It's very nerve-wracking for the clients, and it's very emotional when it gets approved. And so we talked about the human aspect of it too, and we talked about how in St. Louis we have a lot of refugees, and that's sort of the clientele that people who are getting citizenship cases filed on a pro bono basis would come from. And we talked about how these people might not be traditionally comfortable with dealing with government officials. Maybe back in their home country, they weren't able to leave an interview if they wanted to, or they weren't able to not answer questions. And so we really wanted to make sure that the attorneys understood that they're dealing with people, and they have to take the people as they come and sort of, look at them as a whole. And so we really emphasized both the legal aspects of it, but we also talked about the practical things, the kinds of things we tell our clients to do and not to do in the interview. No jokes, no sarcasm, to just listen to the questions asked and not give a big long tail, just answer the questions truthfully. And if they have any questions about what kind of an answer to give, to always tell the truth. So we think our attorney friends that attended this session got a lot out of it today. We hope that this summary interested you and let you know what it is that we sort of look out for in the N-400 naturalization context. But if you do have any questions, feel free to give us a call at 314-961-8200, or you can email me, jim@hackinglawpractice.com. If you like this video, be sure to like it below and subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you get updates whenever we make new videos. Thanks a lot.